Thank you so much for joining us today. Let us get started. Friends of Mozilla for this week. A big hearty thanks to AMO's top add-on reviewers of Q1, E. Roseman, RCT Gamer 3, and at Chung, and add-ons content reviewers MKLL and BJ Urbison for their stellar help in keeping add-ons on AMO safe for our users. Big thank you to them for all their hard work. Just give this a quick courtesy refresh. All right, upcoming events this week. We have Web Extensions API's Triage on Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And that's for discussing upcoming new capabilities to the Extensions APIs in Firefox. You can propose them, you can attend the discussion, you can kind of see the go, no-go decisions happening in that meeting. Like I said, that you can click the link there for more information. On Wednesday, there's the add-ons community meeting at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. And that's for kind of all things add-ons in the community, including those wonderful reviewers we were just discussing. You can click that link also for more information. On Thursday, we have our monthly speaker series, and this month it is Data Protection in the EU, What's Changing with GDPR. Perhaps you've heard of GDPR. Perhaps you haven't. If you haven't, you should definitely attend this. And it's going to be a discussion that's going on. Oh, it's actually happening in the Mozilla Berlin office, which is fantastic. And it's going to be streamed live on Air Mozilla and on YouTube. And it is at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and in the evening, 7 p.m. Central European time. And it's a discussion of GDPR. What is that? It is the new privacy and data law that is going into effect in the EU. But of course, as the web is not very good at borders, it goes into effect kind of for everyone. And it's definitely going to affect all websites on the internet. And if you'd like to understand how Mozilla is affected, you can come see these fantastic panelists discuss that matter and learn a little bit how generally the web is going to have to react to the GDPR and potentially specifically how Mozilla is going to have to react to it. So I highly recommend this one. Like I said, it's at 10 a.m. Pacific time, 7 p.m. Central European time. And there's plenty of links. You can learn about all the awesome panelists and more information about the event. Friday, the 13th of April, there's going to be a Sumo social support event. It's going to be having a meeting featuring a postmortem of the Firefox 59 release. If you are part of our support team and you help our users get their issues in Firefox resolved, you may want to attend this, and that is at 9 a.m. Pacific time. There's an agenda linked there. I hope you can make it. Gonna take a quick refresh. All right, we have a handful of speakers today. First of which is Asa with the Firefox roadmap.
Thank you, Poch. Thank you, everyone. Good day. Quick update today. Firefox 59.02 is our current release in market. Firefox 60 is in beta. It's scheduled to hit release a month from today on May 9th. We've taken about 50 fixes into beta in the last week, including a memory leak fix and a couple of additional policies for the enterprise-facing policy engine. A reminder that Firefox 60 is our ESR, so a lot of people are trying to get fixes in for that because it's a long-term supported release. Firefox 61's in the nightly channel, due for release on June 26th. In the last week, we took approximately 460 bugs, including a fix for a scroll painting regression, a replacement for the Emoji 1 implementation, which stopped being open source. We've replaced that with Twitter emojis, so we get new emojis. We've been kind of stalled due to licensing of the old Emoji 1 fonts. And we added about a half a dozen more enterprise policies on Nightly. Finally, and last but not least, Mozilla and Firefox have been in the news a lot lately. On Sunday, Mozilla and Firefox were on NBC's Sunday Today show. There's a link, you can check it out. The segment features Mitchell and Amy, and it's a really good watch, so check it out. Thanks.
I do highly recommend you check it out. It was a lot of fun to watch. All right, and next we have Cannon up in Toronto talking about Quantum Flow. Yes, Quantum Flow is still around, and Cannon will talk a little bit more about that. Hello.
Hello? Can everyone see me?
Yes.
Okay, fine. I'm not able to see myself. So that's right, I'm talking about Quantum Flow. Could we go to the next slide, please? The main message that I want to get across is Quantum Flow is still happening and it's still very important. I've gotten lots of interactions with people. There's this general impression I get that people feel that as of last year, as of 57, we kind of ended Quantum Flow. We're not worrying too much about perf anymore. We still care about perf. and we still care a lot about it. And what we're seeing in the quantum flow triaging team is that our incoming bug flow is dropped down to a trickle. It's about a third or a fourth of what it used to be. That's a serious problem. Like, either it indicates that our product is fantastic and it's, there's no performance problems in it, or it indicates that we're not seeing performance problems that exist. And I'm going to guess that it's the latter. So we need all of you to help out with this. Can we please go to the next slide? The main thing, it's not a lot of work. If you see a performance bug, nominate the bugs by putting QF in the whiteboard field, send it to us. We will do the hard work of figuring out where it goes, how to track it, prioritizing it. If you can attach a profile, all the better. But the most important thing is, if you notice Firefox behaving poorly for you, or more poorly than it used to, file a bug and mark it QF. Put it in front of our radar, please. And we will deal with them. Thank you very much.
The hunt for red perf traces continues. All right, and next we also have another Toronto presentation from Mike Hoy, who's going to be talking about GSOC. Hello.
Hey, Poch, how are you?
All right, how about yourself?
So far, so good. We have just sent in our final numbers for the number of slots we're requesting for Google Summer of Code. We've had a pretty good set of applicants this year. It looks like all of the projects have at least one, possibly several strong applicants. So we sent in not just the number of requests for the number of student or projects we have, but we have a little bit of overflow there because we've had a couple of independent proposals that weren't on our radar that still look interesting and that look like they're coming from strong contributors. So I'm going to be going to a few engineers over the next few days to try and figure out if we've got a good home to give to some of these kids. Again, the number of spots that we ask for as a minimum or a maximum may not have anything to do with the number we actually get, so there may be some hard decisions to make there, but at least those numbers are in. If you are one of the people who has filed one of those projects, please take a moment to look over their candidates and select one. If you have questions about that, please get in touch with me. Those decisions have to be made in the next couple of days. Other decisions that need to be made in the very near term, please, that aren't having to do with GSOC, are about contributors who we would like to invite to the all-company meeting this summer. I sent out an email about that. I'm sending out another reminder a little bit later, but in that email, there will be a spreadsheet, and in that spreadsheet, there will be a list of people who should attend and reasons they should be attending. And if you have somebody, a contributor who you think would be a valuable addition to that meeting, you should make sure their name is on that list as soon as possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mike. And next we have Trevor giving our Emerging Technologies Weekly Update. I'm going to pull up that agenda. Hello, Trevor.
Hello. So this past week was a big one for us. We announced Firefox Reality. It's a entirely new kind of web browser that's designed from the ground up for standalone virtual and augmented reality headsets. We have a lot of press and social media excitement around the announcement, and there's a lot of enthusiasm for Firefox Reality as the first cross-platform browser that works in mixed reality. And it's the only open source browser for mixed reality. So we're working to make Firefox Reality have all of the qualities that users expect and love from Mozilla and Firefox. So it's fast, it puts privacy first, and it optimizes for their browsing experience. There's definitely a lot to learn on this front. So we're experimenting with mixed reality experiences. And we think this kind of browser is really the future of mixed reality. So if you'd like to be part of it or learn more, there is a link on the notes to our blog, and we're on Twitter, and the source is out there. So the folks from the advanced development team have demoed their Web of Things work, and they taught a workshop for people to make basically their things into things on the internet. So they did that as part of the Get Launched event in Oakland. They gave it basically everybody a chance to turn a garden variety thing into a web thing using an IoT-ready microcontroller board and our awesome Things gateway from Mozilla. One of the team's core objectives was to gain reach and traction with makers and developers, so expect to see us out there a lot more in the coming months, maybe at a maker fair. So lastly, we want to talk about Microsoft and WebAssembly. Adoption of WebAssembly by new and popular web frameworks is something we're working on a lot this year, and we're seeing a lot of interest on that front. And just this past week, Microsoft actually announced Blazor, which is a new standards-based framework that brings the full .NET stack environment, but both the running and the tooling, to the web. So Blazor provides a full .NET runtime implemented in WebAssembly, and older browsers can fall back to ASM.js runtimes. So all that's available on GitHub. As always, join in, talk to us, and that's it for me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Trevor. Lots of cool stuff. And next, we have Michael Van Cleek with The Minute. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Poch. Hi, everybody out in Mozilla land. It's the Weekly Minute with weekly updates from Mozilla IT on the things that we're doing to support and empower all of Mozilla in our mission to keep the web a global public resource, open and accessible to all. An internet that truly puts people first, where individuals can shape their own experience and are empowered, safe, and independent. I love that the new mission. So this week we're going to talk about a lot about one of the sort of unsung services that drives your life, something you're using hundreds and thousands of times, millions of times a day, really. DNS, because we had a lot of work going on DNS lately with IT. So a couple things on the DNS front here. Going to do some teaching. On March 31st, our DNS and DHCP infrastructure within the SL3 data center and our external DNS was migrated from an old homebrew system to Infoblox appliances. And it was kind of a big techie sentence there. It's been told to me that this is one of the single biggest infrastructure upgrades we've had to do in years. So the fact that you probably haven't heard a whole lot about it is a good thing. It kind of happened behind the scenes, a lot of people working on it. This is going to provide a more robust service and pave the way for further service decommissioning as we work to exit the SCL3 data center. Big thanks to everyone involved in making this happen, including Rob Tucker, Brian Horrigan, Van Lee, John Bircher, Vian Doan, and Krishna Nagaraja. Thanks, guys. So what is DNS? Come sit down and get a little lesson in the history of the internet here. DNS is the domain name system. It's a foundational piece of internet technology. It's a common standard for mapping named hosts to addresses. It's so that you can have, my web server, my domain is mvk.net, and it's mapped to, I don't even remember the numbers anymore. I don't have to, and they change all the time. But this is so that the computers can still find the host even when hosts move around. It's fundamental to the way the web functions. It's a common standard, and the DNS as we know it has been in service since 1985. DNS itself emerged from at least 10 years of standards debates back in the 70s, and it launched in a time when servers were big and long-lived, big mainframes in basements and whatnot. And it's adapted to service the ephemeral cloud-based web where hosts come and go every second. Yet the core technology and the core concepts really haven't changed. So the internet, people are thinking it's all new and everything, but we're dealing with technology here that has its roots almost 50 years of internet history. The story of DNS is core to the story of the decentralized internet. And if you'd like to learn more about DNS, I went and found a few interesting links for you. One on the history and prehistory of DNS. There's a Slate article about the importance of DNS and the relevance of its history and the way it's controlled to the future. Remember, there's no central authority really controlling DNS. It's still part of the decentralized web. So it's a really interesting article about some of the political ramifications of that. There's an introduction here to the technology of DNS, and of course, the Wikipedia article on DNS, which is pretty detailed, as you'd imagine, since it's a core internet standard. So a lot about DNS there, and Mozilla IT would like to especially recognize Rob Tucker, the pride of Stowe, Ohio. Go Bulldogs, Rob, for his work along with the rest of the team listed above in seamlessly transitioning the Office of Authoritative DNS from inventory to Infoblox with minimal impact and downtime. Additionally, I'd also like to thank Rob for coming to the rescue of Mozilla IT and all of Mozilla over and over again with his code skills for services that have needed special help. If there's something that needs programming, something that we don't understand, we can ask Rob, and Rob a lot of times can come up with a script to keep things alive. Rob's skills are the duct tape for holding some of our most fragile systems together. So thanks a lot, Rob.
Thank you, Rob.
And lastly, I'm headed to Coachella, can you tell, for 2 weeks to revel with my music tribes and to glimpse a possible future of love, peace, and mixed reality. Coachella has a lot of installation art these days, and two of the big art installations this year are iOS only, unfortunately, augmented reality art installation. So it's gonna be very interesting to see what are they doing? What's that mean to have an installation art that's augmented reality? That's one of the many things that's gonna be going on there. I might not get to take part in it because I'm gonna be tech-free at Coachella. No phone, no iPad, no nothing. But out in the desert on Friday night, when SZA sings that all the stars are closer, and The Weeknd declares that he's a mofo star boy, I'll be reorienting myself towards a cosmic future. Andrew Krug from InfoSec will bring you the minute in the next 2 weeks, and I'll see you all in the stars. See you, Mozilla.
Thank you, Michael. As a reminder to everyone, people at music festivals don't need technology to augment their reality. All right, and I believe we have a handful of introductions. I know this has bounced around a couple times. So I guess we can start with San Francisco. Hello.
Good morning. I am super excited to introduce to everybody, those who haven't met her yet, Tiffany Thompson. Tiffany joins us as a senior people partner and will be supporting WPR, finance, IT, and some of the business affairs groups. So welcome, Tiffany.
Welcome. I know there were earlier other intros on here. I'm not sure if they got steamrolled or if they just got retracted. Just going to give people a moment if there are other introductions. If they want to come forward. That's looking like a no. All right, I guess we'll get those introductions next week. All right, thanks everyone for joining us this week. I hope you have a fantastic week. Welcome to all the new Mozillians. Thanks to everyone who did awesome work. And keep on rocking the free web. See ya.